What's up, YouTube? United USA 2020 and beyond. Back with you again, ladies and gentlemen. Broadcasting up here, Camelback Mountain. Beautiful day. Pretty clear skies. Another beautiful day in the Valley of the Sun. So, the more research that I do, the more that I connect the dots, and the more that I start to just meditate and think about these things that are going on right now. Going back to 2019, there was a global pandemic exercise that was done in conjunction with some very, very powerful people. People in government, people from the United States CDC, the Chinese CDC, United Nations, World Banks, Marriott International. There's I've made a highlight reel. I'll also post that link again. So they did a pandemic global exercise, planning for not just the precautions and planning that they would take into effect if there was a pandemic, but a complete overhaul of the financial system. A kind of hostile takeover, if you will, if you want to call it that. I just find that it's a little too damn coincidental that all these things have happened. And at the same time, it's worked out very, very, very conveniently for certain entities. China, number one, China has benefited immensely from everything that has happened. There's quite a few big pharma companies that have tremendously benefited. If you look back to, I'll give you an example. Bill Gates, his net worth about a year ago was $99 billion. Now his net worth is $118 billion. How did Bill Gates, in his lifetime, it took him, 30-something years for him to make a total of that $100 billion, but then in the last year, he was able to make $20 billion? Like $19 billion in a year? Isn't that interesting? Just a quick side note, as far as with Facebook, Google, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, and what the heck is it called? The something Society. It's an organization that, it's actually George Soros' foundation, as a matter of fact. And so, kind of as an example with everything that's been going on, it's kind of one of those situations where the more that you kind of dig and dig, you find that the Clinton Foundation, George Soros' foundation, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, you keep hearing these names over and over again the more that you dig with everything. And you continue to do research and you start to see that, wow, what is going on here? You do a little bit more digging, and then you find out, Prince Charles in the UK saying now would be a great time for the global reset. You got Klaus Schwab from the World Economic Forum, which I'm sure everyone is familiar with now because they've put it out there and made it, made their plans known to the world. I mean, they're not hiding it at all. And I just can't help but think that this is a massive conspiracy. The biggest, probably the biggest conspiracy of our lifetimes. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, this is what I would call the Great Deception. Yeah, because this goes the deeper that you dig, the more that you dig up, the more that you find, the more that you answer questions, and the more that you think you've gotten the answers, the more that it seems like you've got, for every answer you get, you've got like 10 more questions. And it's like, well, wait a minute, It reminds me of a lot of things. One in particular, when the towers went down, it was like each question that you had answered, you just felt like, okay, there was another 10, 20 questions behind that. Well, why is this? Why is that? Why is this? I don't know. I think that for me personally, with the level of knowledge and information that I've studied just in the last 20 years has, showed me that a lot of things are not coincidences in life. And this is a prime example of a situation where you look at Event 201, that was a global pandemic exercise with some of the most powerful people in the world. And like I said, I'll share that highlight reel. I think the original video is 55 minutes. The highlight reel, I think, is 11 minutes and 45 seconds. So if you guys got 12 minutes, just check it out. But the more that you piece things together and you realize that, okay, so hasn't it worked out pretty convenient for guys like Klaus Schwab that literally want to change the financial system? They want to integrate our biological, our digital selves into this whole system. They want cryptocurrency, digital currency. You can see that they want to revamp the medical system. We're not being forced to be vaccinated yet, but you can see that it probably won't be long until you probably don't have too many other choices if you want to go back to work, if you want to get on a plane, if you want to stay in a hotel, you want to go to a sporting event, you know what I'm saying, you want to go here or there. I'm here to tell you, folks, this is full-blown communism. You say, well, what do you mean? I'm still able to walk around. I still have freedom of speech. I can still, yeah, okay, sure. But, I mean, this has basically been martial law. It's kind of a passive-aggressive, unofficial martial law. But it is, folks. This is what communism looks like. I mean, where has our right-wingers and our politicians been, and our president, while these lockdowns have been going on? Have they fought the lockdowns? Not really. No, they followed the advice of the WHO and also the CDC and said, oh, well, we're going to follow the CDC's guidelines. So you see, my friends, they constantly put it off on each other. What they do is they just pass the buck. They just keep kicking the can down the road. And they've been doing it this entire year. It's been going on for a long time. But they've had this stuff in the works for a long time. Go back and look up the mRNA vaccine, and you'll see that it's been around longer than just this year. And there's just something really, really, really strange going on. And the more that I look at what's happening, it seems to point to, a global conspiracy. We just have a lot of powerful people that got together and said, hey, we're going to change everything. We're going to change the whole system. We want everything integrated, AI technology up into the cloud. Everything you do, your profiles, your medical history, your financial history, your credit, everything, your purchases, everything that you do, literally tracked. And that's what they want, and that's what they're doing. And they'll get it, most likely, because they have set their minds to it. They put a plan in action, and here we are now. You can see that they're not wasting any time. They're not wasting any time at all. So it would behoove you, and I would encourage you to do your research and just start to put the pieces of the puzzle together, and you'll see that this plan has been in the works for a long time. And I have my suspicions and doubts that, I'm wondering if it has anything to do with an actual pandemic. The numbers just don't really reflect that when 99% approximately are recovering in different categories. Some it's 92%, 94%. In other categories of people in their age ranges, it's 99% recovery rate. Doesn't really sound like a pandemic, but that's what we're being told. But if you do your research, I think you guys will see that there's been a much bigger plan that's been in action. And coincidentally, it's working out really convenient for the powers that be. Individuals like Klaus Schwab from the World Economic Forum is just one example of many. The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, George Soros' foundation. There's so many different organizations that are a part of this. You see that this year we've been censored more than any other year. Look at what's happened on YouTube. Look at Facebook. They have fact checkers. If you go down the rabbit hole and see who fact checkers is connected to, as a matter of fact, I'm going to do another video talking about that. But you'll see that it leads to Facebook, Google, Chinese-owned companies that own TikTok. It's Oh man, I'm trying to remember the name of it. I'll have to do another video talking about that. But yeah, is it a coincidence that we've been censored this year more than like any other time in our lives? Right? And all we're trying to do is share information. You got all this stuff going on with the election and this and that in an election year. I mean, is it a coincidence? I doubt it. I doubt it. You know, how many coincidences can you count on your fingers and toes and say, oh, it's probably just another coincidence? It's pretty unlikely. So I would encourage everyone to do their research. I will post a link in the description from Event 201, which was the global pandemic exercise they did in 2019, preparing for all this and making much bigger plans for your life and my life. And specifically, they want to change the entire financial system. They want to change everything. And if Klaus Schwab from the World Economic Forum has his way, it's on the way real soon. Definitely within the decade or sooner. So check it out. Please be sure to like, share, subscribe. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Check y'all in the next one.